Okay, let's talk about plasma arc cutting, Mod 3 Section 1. Nice little short module here. We'll hopefully get through it pretty quick. Explain plasma arc cutting processes and identify related safety precautions. Describe plasma arc cutting processes and identify safety practices. That's our objective, and that's all we're going to cover this week in Section 1. The trade terms that we're going to cover is dross. We know what dross is. We talked about it with oxyfuel cutting. It's a waste byproduct of molten metal. So whether you're cutting plasma or whether you're cutting oxyfuel, the waste byproduct is called dross. In welding, we call it slag, what we chip off of the weld. And a lot of people want to say slag when they cut with oxyfuel or plasma, but in fact, the correct word is dross. It's a trade term. You got to know it. It's a test question, not slag. Plasma, a fourth state of matter. It's not a solid. It's not a liquid. It's not a gas. It's plasma, created by heating gas to such a high temp that it boils electrons off the gas molecules. Ionization. Plasma arc cutting process. There are two types of plasma transferred arc and non-transferred arc. The transferred arc process is the most common and is used to cut materials that are electrically conductive, such as metals. The non-transferred arc process is less common and used to cut materials that are not electrically conductive, such as ceramics and concrete. So, if I asked you a question and said, do we use transferred arc or non-transferred arc in metal cutting, the correct answer would be transferred arc. We know that because the non-transferred arc is for non-electrically conductive materials such as ceramics and concrete. We don't fool with that. So we're into transferred arc. In the transferred arc process, the workpiece is part of the electrical circuit. And so what does that mean? The workpiece is part of the electrical circuit. Here's the workpiece, piece of metal, and we have to hook a ground to it. And then we take the electrode and we stick it on there, similar to welding. We strike an arc. The arc comes through our electrode, through the workpiece, and out through the ground. It completes a circuit, just like welding. Therefore, it's called a transferred arc process. The non-transferred arc, the entire arc is established within the torch, between the torch and the electrode and the torch nozzle. The material being cut is not electrically connected to the arc. Since it's typically non-conductive material, it can't. The non-transferred arc process is not normally found in facilities that cut metal, like our shop. Safety practices. The following is a summary of the safety practices and procedures that must be observed while cutting. Keep in mind this is only a summary. Complete safety coverage is provided in the welding safety module. We've already covered that. That was module 1. If you have not completed that module, do so before continuing. That's not us. We've finished it. Above all, be sure to wear appropriate protective equipment, PPE, when welding and cutting. A plasma arc cutting process that uses air or nitrogen, we use compressed air in our shop, and is set up correctly, is generally safer than oxyfuel. There is no chance of a flashback or other dangers caused by flammable gases such as those in oxyfuel. However, the voltages used are extremely high. The voltages used, the extremely high temperatures of the cutting jet, and the intense UV radiation of the arc are hazardous. In addition to the safety practices involved in the section, the following practices should also be observed. Make sure that all sources of energy to the plasma arc cutting equipment are turned off before disassembling a plasma torch to replace any consumable. Open circuit DC voltages as high as 400 volts may be present between the torch components and the workpiece. The extreme high temperatures of plasma cutting jet can quickly and easily cut through gloves and flesh, resulting in severe injuries. Protective clothing. Always wear safety glasses with a full face shield or helmet. The glasses, face shield, and helmet lens must have the proper light tint. Use corrective lenses if needed. Some companies will not allow contact lenses to be worn during cutting and welding. Never view an electric arc directly or indirectly without using a proper tinted lens. Wear proper protective leather or flame retardant clothing, along with gloves that will protect you from flying sparks of molten metal. Wear high-top safety shoes and boots. Wear a 100% cotton hat with no mesh material. The bill pointed to the rear, that keeps the sparks off your neck. And a hard hat with a rear deflector is generally preferred when working overhead. This is a cool note. Do not wear a cap with a button in the middle. That's right on top of your head. The conductive metal button beneath the fabric represents a safety hazard. Wear a face shield over your cutting glasses. For gas welding and cutting, either the face shield or the lens of the welding goggles must be an approved shade for the application. So we're looking at what? Minimum protective shades. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 for your arc current. That's interesting. Ear protection is essential for protection from the noise. So that means we have to wear earplugs and the corrective lenses. Welding activities usually involve use of fire, extreme heat. To melt metal, whenever fire is used, it must be controlled and contained. Welding and or cutting are often performed on vessels that have flammables inside. Never carry matches. Always comply with site safety. Never use oxygen to blow off your clothing from an oxy-fuel. Make sure flammable materials in the work area is removed. Approved fire extinguishers are nearby. Never release large amounts of oxygen in the work area. Never release a large amount of fuel gas, especially acetylene. To prevent fires, maintain a neat, clean work area. Before cutting or welding containers such as tanks or barrels, find out what they contain and do the proper prep and purge. Welding and cutting must never be performed on drums, barrels, tanks, vessels with other containers that have been emptied, cleaned, blah, 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 without first purging the gases or filling with water. Clean containers only in well-ventilated areas. Vapors can accumulate, causing explosions. After cleaning a container, fill it with water or purging gas. A water-filled vessel is the best alternative. Keep your area ventilated. Vapors and fumes tend to rise. Turn on your exhaust fans. Make sure confined space procedures are followed if you're in a confined space. Always perform cutting and welding operations in well-ventilated areas. Wear approved respirators with an appropriate filter directed by your employer. Make sure confined spaces are properly ventilated. Never use pure oxygen from cylinders for the purpose of ventilation or breathing air. Section 1 review. The plasma arc cutting process type most commonly used is the transferred arc, D. When operating plasma arc cutting equipment, it is acceptable to wear a hat made out of C, 100% cotton. And we're not going to start section 2. We're going to end it up on section 1. So you'll need to know these answers to this section review that we already talked about. There'll be a study set with that information in there. Or maybe we'll make an ed puzzle out of this one. I think that's what I'm going to do. So 9 minutes, good video. Good luck.